I'll fix the thumbnail later. But salute, grand rising to everyone. What it do? My glasses. Yo, so tradition has it, is our United States government always right? And that's the question that I have in the caption. Um, I thought about this because I try to be fair, whether right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? I try to look for what's fair and not. And of course, what we learned in life, not everything is fair, right? So we got this thing of ours in America called the game. And I guess it was a game that was like started between what you would say a treaty between the gangsters of New York, New York City, and the politicians as well, you know. So let's go back. Let's go way back, way back, way back into time. You could go as far as back as the Revolutionary War when dealing with our government to see if have they always been right, you know. So what's taught to us is 13 colonies, a pilgrimage to Plymouth, then a migration into the 13 colonies on the East Coast, which are the 13 states along the coast of the East Coast. Um, some type of treaty with the native people, so they say. Um, and then from what I learned from my professor, there was a turning period to where the colony people was like the pilgrims or the people here was like, hey, why bring all these raw materials back to England to the kings and queens when we could build our own factories here? Um, allegedly, that's what was going around. They started building factories and stuff like that here in America. Of course, people that sent them here to bring the raw materials over there, they ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, where I shit at? They like, nigga, you dead. We ain't fucking with you. So that's what started the Revolutionary War, right? So they got their independence. They broke off from, the people that sent them here. Start their own government. During the time of actually the beef, when the beef started, they was already getting the government together. Um, George Washington, I think, was like the six-star general, along with his friend Crispus Attucks. Crispus Attucks ended up getting killed. I think he was a Haitian African man from Haiti. Uh, Paul Revere, Sam Adams, the pioneers of the revolution. They set it off. Abraham Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin had to go back to England like on 3 occasions to try to settle it. Uh, it was this guy. There's this book that I read called The History That Was Never Taught in Class. I think his name was John Hanson or something like that. And then come to find if you look into it, because he is black, his name might not even really be John Hanson. They just put it there and then changed, gave him that name. But allegedly, he was rumored to be the president of America. So America at that time was not yet united. The states was not yet united. So there was a body in government at that time. It just wasn't, the states wasn't united yet. The true, the true, the true first president of the real under the seal of the United States of America is actually Thomas Jefferson. Even when everybody claims that George Washington was the first president, he actually wasn't. He was a 6-star general. He just ran this whole entire joint. He was the front man of everything. He actually was the one that popped it. Like, he was the one that put on, when he came back to the colony. He told them, like, yo, we don't run everything over here. Like, I just lost all my men. The French and the native people told me to go back and tell us, like, get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what, on top of the factories and stuff like that, that's what also agitated England with the colonial people. You know, they found out they lied. They was paying taxes for the whole land, and the whole land wasn't theirs. You know what I'm saying? So they felt like they got finessed. Um, so now you fast forward, you get your independence, your body and government is intact. History has it, industrialization started. If you go to college, what they'll teach you in college is that it wasn't a race thing, it was more of a industrial thing why the Civil War started. If you look at it from an economic standpoint. At that time, they're starting to build the country. Like, I had made a post about that, like how everybody collaborated. Yeah, okay, racism exists, whatever. But during that time, after the Revolutionary War, it seemed less of racism and more of trying to get the country together. Everybody had ideas. Trains was being built, tunnels, underground tunnels. The first skyscrapers and towers and buildings was being built. So there was a lot of industrialization for everybody, and everybody was busy, except for the South. They seemed real fascinated on still keeping things the way how they had it. So allegedly, that's what they want to put in history. That's why it started the Revolutionary War. Um, there was a change in parties. So who knows? The party switched. It went from Republicans, Republicans protecting the land, to what we consider the Democrats being the protectors of the land, which is not true. Um, so you get into one major thing that kind of severed the separation of the states too as well. They don't really talk about was the decentralization of the banking system. So allegedly, you fight for your independence in the Revolutionary War. You beat your enemies, but then you double back to your enemies to learn how to control your people. That's definitely a historical fact. That's definitely a historical fact. It's the so-called United States of America won their independence from Britain, and then Northerners from the United States went back to Britain to learn the the centralized banking system, um, and they brung it here, and that's what created those men, those frontiers, those Ma Barkers and the Barker brothers, Barker boys, and Babyface Nelson and the Young Guns and Jesse James and Billy the Kid, Doc Holliday, and you get all of these bank robbing bandits from back in the days, because they really didn't adhere to that, and rightfully so. We just won our independence, and now you back over there messing with the same dudes that we just beat. So at one time the government wasn't right in history, right? I told y'all we could go back as far as the Revolutionary War with this. So follow me. Bam, that definitely. Think about it, y'all. They want to put everything else as an excuse for the Civil War. But what's the most betrayal thing as to why people would not fuck with other people? You was my mans and you messing with the ops now. Me and you together, we fought them dudes. And now you looking to them dudes to help Keep me under control, because that's how the South felt. I don't think they gave the South the memo. White on white, dead ass, dead white on white. Yes, white on, because who popped off? White on white, right? They end up fighting each other, right, during the Civil War. So yeah, I truly believe they did that without warning, without sending a memo, without, hey, take this on a horse down south and let them know we going back to Britain, try to learn how to do this banking system. Because they knew the answer would have been like, you out your rabbit ass fucking mind. They knew that. Whoever thought of that, they knew if they would have sent that memo out down to the south, the reply would have been like, I wish the fuck you would go over there and try that shit. So they didn't. More than likely, they didn't. They ain't put the South on. They just went over there and did that shit. You know what I'm saying? But the patsy is, oh, the South is dumb racist. They all this and that and the third, right? Keep it a buck, to be honest with you. I don't even think the South knew what the fuck the North was doing with that stupid shit. And it really just threw them off guard. You know what I'm saying? So in our history of America, there was rumored that the South didn't really adhere to the presidency of Abraham Lincoln. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they basically felt like this nigga is not even our president. We not, listen, you, the dude that want to create this fake money shit, the Chase dude, Salmon P. Chase. Whatever happened with that centralized banking system or whatever, he created the first dollar bill with his face on it. The Chase Bank, that dude. He was the secretary. So Lincoln was the president. He was like the secretary of state or something. But allegedly, being that the South was, they just didn't, nah, we not jacking them. You know what I'm saying? Word. They really looked at, I heard, rumor has it, they looked at General either General Lee or General Ulysses Grant. He ended up, I don't know if he ended up being, they look at him as the president at that time. I think it was General Grant, Ulysses S. Grant. They ain't really jack Abraham Lincoln because of that traitor shit. That shit was treason, which probably they don't want to talk about that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we grown. They try to spill that to us as like when we was kids, you know what I'm saying? And it's messed up because the adults never revisited that. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't never revisit that. And then you get older, you see, we heard rumors. I'm pretty sure all across the states, I know everybody, if you was, you know what I mean, you heard this rumor like, yo, one, he's on a Abraham is on a 1 cent. He's on a penny for a reason, right? To degrade him. Two, his faces left instead of right like everybody else, right? And three is because he was black or something like that, which I'm not really jacking. It's not that. But that's all the patsies that they want to use. They want to use that to like stir confusion or whatever. So the truth of the matter is that they committed treason against their peoples. Nah, they don't want to put that out there. They don't want to put that as the reason why Abraham Lincoln might have, that's the reason why he might have been assassinated. You know what I'm saying? Because he committed treason against the people of the United States of America. So that's one. It's the government, right? Let's speed this up. Let's go into, we in industrialization right now. Civil War is over. I think the next one would be like the Spanish American War, French War, but they still industrializing, right? The money thing and the bank thing stands. Regardless of how I feel, regardless of how America feel, they still fought the good fight, the government. They still continued to make banks, Wells Fargo's, you name it. You know what I'm saying? They fought it. They just end up. What happened was, even though the banks was getting robbed, they formed the G-men, the FBI, to protect the money. That's what the federal government was made. Once that happened, they used the federal government to protect the banks and the money. So could they have been involved with World War One? It was imminent. You know what I mean? We had enough problems here to deal with. Some people, some might say, we had enough to deal with over here. Uh, Now we will get into the Great Depression, right? The Great Depression, which started around 33 to 39, maybe, during the time of our president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Mind you, FDR had a disease called polio. He was good, I think, in his first year or whatever, but then he ended up in a wheelchair. And unfortunately, it progressed and it took his life. Um, but from what I heard throughout history, FDR was a good dude, and even the other Roosevelt before him, the Rough Rider Teddy, he initiated a lot too. But FDR was going through a situation during his time where it was just uncontrolled. He couldn't save it. Like one birdie told another birdie, like, yo, them banks don't got our money. Niggas lie. So thousands of Americans probably like niggas went to the bank, got all their money back, crushed the whole government. Which, hmm, I mean, they already had the banks. The banks was owned by the rich families of America, right? So these rich families of America decide, you know what? We like they didn't give the I don't think they gave the people their money. Damn, that's crazy. It just dawned on to me, right? So if everybody ran over there, I'm gonna look into that a little bit more because I don't think the American people ever got the money. I think they went over there and really found out that they didn't have no money and nothing happened except they kept the money. But something did happen. Something did happen. A Great Depression happened, right? For years. So peep it. My thing is this: they didn't kill a bank and the families. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like the bank robbers turned it up a notch. I think they actually did. I'm tripping because John Dillinger. This is when you get Babyface Nelson and all of them. Public Enemy #1. So now I'm tripping. They did turn it up a notch. Yeah, yeah. American people did go crazy on the banks. That's a fact. That's a fact. They did go crazy on the banks. I forgot. However, I think that's what actually had that meeting between FDR and the rich families of America, and then they created the Federal Reserve and the Social Security to save the country, allegedly. Here's my thing. Y'all created a system that the people didn't approve of. It ain't that they didn't know, and then when they found out, they went to war with you about it. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was never approved. That shit from the beginning. Only then for you to finesse the people that do buy into it, do put their money into it, and then they figure you out and they like, yo, can I get my bread? And you like, you don't got it. So that's another whammy. It was built on deceit, built on treason, and then it somehow, some way became a part of our culture, and it decept the people, left them broke, stranded, put our country in a Great Depression. I'm talking about banks, the centralized banking system that the so-called Abraham Lincoln initiated, and it hurted us all the way into that shit affected us all the way into the 1900s, bro, to the fucking Great Depression. From Abraham Lincoln to the Great Depression, like what the fuck? So, damn, like, and then got the nerve to say we owe them. Well, all right, we gonna help y'all out. What, with the money that y'all stole from us? That's exactly what that's not really what the government did, but that's exactly what the government allowed those rich families to do. They never gave the people their money back, right? They never gave the people their money back. Because how would they build the Federal Reserve? You know what I'm saying? And of course, we know it was a collective effort. It wasn't just one family. It was all of the rich families, you know what I'm saying, in America, the Rockefellers, the JP Morgans and stuff like that. They all put they bread together and started the Social Security Act and the Federal Reserve, right? I know what somebody might say because they're actually bringing in money for them. They're not, you know, because they made the Federal Reserve and the Social Security Act. They must have gave away some bread because they was like, all Americans born on American soil will pay them back, and they ought to have a Social Security number. You know what I'm saying? They're going to pay back those families. The Social Security number is to pay back the rich families of the banking system. That's what the Social Security number is for. But my thing is, y'all never gave back the money. So what are American people really paying back? It's not like in the Great Depression when they went, y'all gave them back their bread. Y'all didn't give them back their bread. Y'all kept their money. I don't know. Shit got to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? I truly think they did not give the American people back their money. Word, word. They used their money to make the Federal Reserve. That's what they did. And they got the nerve to say, we got to pay them back. I know some people might hate FDR because of that. But I think because I saw a video with FDR before he passed away, and he made a second Bill of Amendment, a second Bill of Rights, as a matter of fact. Um, and in this second Bill of Rights, he put in that every man, every American man who has a family shall be given a house, a job, like mandated. Like he mandated that. Like every American man be given a house, a job, so he could take care of his family, and that's going to be mandatory. Like he had implemented some good things that could really help America. Unfortunately, with the disease that he had, it got to him before he could actually put that into law. It's on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? It's not really talked about, very rare, very is it even talked about. So that's why me personally, I kind of consider him one of the good guys. You know, FDR, he was one of the good guys. Even though that side is still another, that part during his tenure is still another mistake that our government, again, they just wasn't right about. You know, so uh, which one? You want to deal with racism? Okay, let's just do that. I mean, before we deal with the racism part, let's get to this part. It's going to tie into all of this shit is going to be connected in some sort of way, whether it be racism, the gangsters and gangs in New York, or hustling. It's all connected. So here we go. Now we're into this Great Depression era, the Roaring 20s, 30s, 40s. But during that time, it had birthed something. It birthed the gangs in New York. In the Roaring 20s, it birthed. They went to go and prohibit alcohol. It birthed Dutch from the Bronx. You know what I mean? It birthed the Dutch. It birthed Madam St. Clair. It birthed Bumpy. So it birthed Bugsy, Lucky, Al, Nitty. And you gotta ask yourself why. Why did it birth all of these gangsters? If shit was alright, what made a turn of event? You know what I mean? What was the turn of events? You know what I'm saying? And from what I hear, when you hear about the gangsters from back then, their fathers and everybody was hardworking, if not immigrants that came over here, but people that was here, they had that situation going on where that's why I say it was busy being New York. All that racism shit, nah, niggas was everybody was working. It was working. You had black people that was working on the train. Like people had good jobs. You know what I'm saying, in the city. I don't know what the fuck was going on down south, but the industrialization was booming in the roaring 20s and 30s and stuff like that in New York City. So you birth these gangsters, right? Why these gangsters is birthed? I think it has something to do with their old country and their old ways and the migrants coming over here, immigrating over here. And they trying to implement that old way here, and it just wasn't seeming fit for the young kids. You understand? It don't seem like the black people had a problem with it, but the Italians did. They wasn't feeling that, so they changed that whole shit. Yeah, we gonna keep the cooking, the food. Yeah, we gonna keep that tradition. So, except the pizza, we do triangles over here. That's the only thing they changed. You know what I'm saying, as far as the food, but they kept the food. Everything else they seem to have a problem with because they was young, and the way that America was, and especially New York City was, it had no time for them to be racist and be all ugly to people like how their people from the old country was. Like, you understand? Y'all wasn't doing shit. Basically, I guess that's what the gangs in New York City saying. Like, it's mad slow over there in Italy right now. Y'all niggas ain't doing nothing but just being dickheads. Over here, I'm around blacks run. They working at the train stop. Niggas got the country club. Like Lucky, like yo, it's just popping out here. It's just popping out here, like popping. You know what I mean? Nitty out there with them Brooklyn niggas, Al Capone and them niggas. They out there with them niggas. You know what I mean? Like it's popping in the city. It is popping, and I guess them original gangsters, they was just loving every minute of it to the point, like, you know what, nigga, this is me. I'm fucking American, B. Fuck that. Fuck that. Them niggas went the war. They went the war with Dons from Italy, B, just to keep this going. We gotta hold on to this. We can't allow y'all to try to put that shit here. We can't. Y'all fucking up the money. We making money. Like if this shit is about money, you know what I'm saying? We just got out of fucking depression. If this shit is about the money, nigga, we getting money, nigga. All that shit, y'all, man, keep that shit in Italy. They had problems at first, you know what I'm saying? But they won. They won. They won because they stood tall together. They had one objective. They had New York at heart. They said, "Fuck that. I grew up here. This is me. This is my stomping grounds. My best friends. This is where we played that and all of that. So this is us." You understand what I'm saying? Um, Now look into how the government views them, and this is probably the third one to where I say they might be wrong, right? They do the prohibition of alcohol. Somehow, some way, there's alcohol running all through America into the moonshiners. Now you got moonshiners. Now you got people selling alcohol illegally, making hell of a money. So making bread. They making Dutch made millions off of alcohol before the depression. Before the depression. I think even during the, I think no, I think during the depression he was making that. Now he died in shit. He died in 31. He never made it. He never made it out the 30s. Dutch never made it out the 30s. He died in 31 or 32, right before the depression. So he was getting millions in the roaring 20s off of alcohol, just off of liquor alone. Government, I think they made a mistake with that because ultimately they made it legal again. So that was a mistake. Uh, is it gambling? During this time, a lot of gambling was going on. Um, and this is when you know the good fellas they was taking trips to Cuba. They had all the casinos and stuff like that. I think they really turned on. Well, the reason why they turned on the mob, they not wrong about that, and that's Dutch, who tried to kill a district attorney, so Thomas Dewey. That's not, I mean, that ain't their fault. I think where they get it wrong is they was doing things too, like trying to be gangsters too, like similar, like copycat. Maybe I think it was them G men. It probably was them G men. But there was this book that I read, and this gets a little bit forward up to I don't know if that was Lucky's friend. I think that was Lucky's friend. I think Joe Bananas was Lucky's friend. So we get to the Banana crime family, right? Now there was something interesting that I read when I was upstate. It was this book called Bomb by Honor, Mafioso Story, right? And it was written by Bill Bonanno. It was Joseph Bonanno's son. So in his autobiography, he basically explained how like his father was an old school Italian, you know what I'm saying? He really was more set in the old ways, you know what I mean? But still he was a part of he was a part of the council of the five families. Um, and he was loved. Everybody messed with him. Profaci, Luciano, uh, Tavi, Luchese, everybody was cool or Bonanno. You know what I mean? Um, he states this drug thing is weird. I don't know how it came about, but it was in a meeting with the bosses, right? So when it was first introduced, and I don't know if it was cocaine or heroin, it was one of them. But from what I read in the story, he recalls his father being adamantly against it, as well as the rest of the 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 top bosses. But little to their denounced, not Lucky, nor Vito, nor Vito, or Carlo. But he wasn't. He was still young at that time. He would become a boss later. Um, yeah. But the older ones, like Albert Anastasia, head man from the Murder Inc. Everybody. If Banano and all of them wasn't with it, they wasn't selling drugs. That was a no go at first. So into the airport heists and cargoes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And he recalls them running, I think it's LaGuardia or JFK, snatching up cargoes for goods, not even for nothing else, for goods. You know what I'm saying? That was their thing. merchandise, clothing, and stuff like that. They was hijacking trucks and stuff that had like merch and apparels and fur coats and minks and shit like that. Like when you see old school gangster flicks, that's what you see. Like pulling out mad minks because that was a thing. You book minks. Coats was like $70,000 a mink. So they'll run down on a whole truck that got like 500 minks. You know what I'm saying? That's some good bread. So he recalls they're waiting at a shipment. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's JFK, right? But on their shipment, there's another shipment and it's stamped United States government coming into on a cargo. And lo behold, because that's they shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? They didn't touch those cargo, but they noticed it. And of course they said something about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, hold up. The United States got some shit coming in here too. So they had to do their little research. Come to find out, they was bringing in dope. They was bringing in drugs. You know what I'm saying? The United States. That's what those cargoes were. You know what I'm saying? So that drew a red flag with them. That was like I think the first red flag to some of the bosses, some of the gangsters in New York. They noticed that like, oh, y'all trying to be gangsters too. Y'all doing too much. That ass, right? Now here's where they use the Goodfellas as the patsy. Be honest with you, they probably had talks, but eh, if Lucky gave the green light, he gave the green light. So, like fuck man, the niggas getting our people high. We gotta control the situation. So they probably did tell Lucky about it. Like, yo, they bringing in the drugs on the city. What we gonna do? He like, damn, we can't not. We gotta control the situation probably. So that's what he leaned towards too. Do like try to control the situation. Of course, it's uncontrollable. You know what I'm saying? But and then you got half of your peoples that's they don't. You ain't gonna never tell them because they wouldn't even dare touch that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what caused like the little rift between certain gangsters and shit like that. Me, they wrong again. Cause then you- I don't. This is because that's the shit that leads all the way up into Ronald Reagan and Barry Seal and Pablo Escobar. Now, mind you, remember when I said they was just over there for cargo shipments on goods, materials, merchandise. We have video, casino games, slot, like that. Government bringing in drugs. What was that? I think that was the 50s. I think that was the 50s. I'm pretty sure. 50s to the 60s, right? Yeah. Okay. We don't have to skip past Vietnam and all that because that's what's coming up. So we could delve into that too as well. Now we're entering wartime. J. Edgar Hoover, if I'm not mistaken, civil rights movements through racism as a patsy. That shit just noise. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm saying. Like during that time period, they was doing a lot of wannabe gangster stuff, and the real gangsters was going through it, which will lead up to this historical event, the assassination of JFK. That's why that happened. They know that. Ain't nobody in history could teach you nothing different. That his father was not in bed with, you know what I'm saying? Now that's something that I'm just now thinking about as far as like the drugs though. Them cargo shipments, they damn. What if it came during the Vietnam time? They probably found out. Nah, because through his father, they already knew they was in. I think his father was doing he was doing the alcohol thing too. I don't know what else. I don't know what else. To be honest with you, I don't know what else. They was doing something that it kind of scratched the gangsters, like, yo, and that has something to do with Cuba, if I'm not mistaken, or something. Or maybe it was a lot. It was just a lot going on. You're dealing with an assassination of a president of the United States of America. And then his brother gets assassinated. Yeah, they was running around doing too much gangster shit instead of being our government. You know what I'm saying? I put money. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. They running around trying to be gangsters instead of being the government. You can't be right if motherfucker kill you and your brother and your father. They knew your father, so it's not like, you know what I mean. They ain't kill your pops. They ain't kill your moms. They ain't kill your sister. They ain't kill. You know what I mean? And then you go. We get to Vietnam. Don't really care too much about the political leaders or the assassination things like that. To me, those is patsies. It's just patsies. It's just noise. Let's get to this war. Why was it? Why it happened? Allegedly, rumor has it across the streets of America, they went there for those poppy plants. They went there for that heroin, that meth, that morphine. Because the morphine helps the soldiers when they go to war. You know what I'm saying? Deal with the pain. So they went over there for the poppy plants. Morphine ended up becoming an addiction. So I stand correct on that. It's not that they went over there for drugs, but they did, and it's not through a narcotic. The narcotic part came after the addiction. Then it seemed like it was like, we could use this for recreational use. But the main objective was like, yo, there was a war, and we saw them niggas using these plants, and they was able to take bullets and shit like that. Generals is looking at them like, what? I'm dead serious, B. I don't know what the fuck is in that plant, but we need to get that shit. Oh shit. Okay, they got me. They was right on that call. It was right on that call. I mean, if you're gonna go to war, why not? Because you damn sure got your ass whooped. They had more. They must have had more morphine in them than they had than the soldiers. Instead of the soldiers using the poppy plants to save their lives, they was using it and getting addicted and getting murdered over there. That's why Vietnamese end up winning that war. Um, but the government did go back over there and probably started bringing in shipments of the poppy plant for the morphine for medicinal purposes, using it in hospitals, et cetera, et cetera. Whoever told them that it could be a narcotic or made an addiction, it probably came from the government. I don't think it would be coming from regular people in the streets. It didn't come from. our people at all. It had to come from like government to government. Like, yo, don't you know this also gets my people high? So I would have to really say our first drug dealers were the United States government. You know, I would definitely have to say that first drug dealers were the United States government. But what will be the next one? Reagan. Yep. So now we're dealing with Reagan. Right. That right there in itself was wrong. He was wrong at that. He had the right idea though. Uh, if I was there, I would think that that was his plan, but the shit backfired. You know, and he shouldn't have gave niggas all that time. Like you know why we did it? We did it to keep control of the fucking streets, away from the fucking cartels. That's why you gave us the fucking recipe. How you gonna lock us up for this shit? We just hustling. You should tell us, nigga. Don't sell it like the fuck, nigga. Don't be afraid. We at war. He ain't say shit. So he was, you know, he ain't shit neither. You know what I mean? He like, yeah, I could knock two birds out with one stone. Let both them kill each other. Let the Colombians and the blacks go to war, which they did in the 80s. And guess who reigns supreme over every city in America to this fucking day? Not no goddamn Colombian cartels, nigga. No thanks to y'all. No thanks to the fucking government. No thanks to our government. Ain't like y'all, how y'all arming all of these fucking kids with these switches and how y'all arming all these Venezuelan motherfuckers with them fucking guns. Y'all damn sure didn't arm us to fight against them fucking cartels. My older cousins beefing with the fucking Colombians and shit on the west side of the Bronx. Mad fucking Colombian fucking wars. Y'all niggas ain't help shit. And that wasn't, of course, y'all ain't have no intention to help us. On top of that, let a nigga get caught with one fucking thing of crack. That nigga getting a whole 100 years. Then you want to set us up on some, get the fuck out of here. Like you reap what you sow. Like the government was mad fucked up on that. Mad fucked up on that. Mad fucked up on that. We don't even grow poppy plants over here. Like that. Like come on, bro. Like come on. Come on. Do y'all hate y'all people that bad? That you think that we're that dumb? You haven't heard that? We've been saying that shit from years. We don't make the drugs though. Like if you done heard that shit for damn near 2, 3 fucking decades, yo, why don't the fuck y'all help? Or at least hold y'all want see that's the problem with the government. They want everybody else to be held accountable except them. They don't want to publicly and be held accountable for nothing. Like yo, we fucked up with the drug shit. We brung that shit in. We thought like, hey, this plant is that they're beating us. Like, be fucking honest, nigga. Yeah, we went over there. We getting our ass whooped. We got reports from our soldiers talking about they seeing these motherfuckers taking shots from this poppy plant. We shoot these motherfuckers. They still running at us. Keep it a buck. Oh, word. All right. Y'all need that for that. Y'all didn't. Y'all wouldn't have had to hid the shit or nothing. The fuck you hiding it for? Like, listen, don't get it. You can get addicted to this motherfucker. For real, for real. Like, you'll want to take this shit even if you're not getting shot. Y'all could do that. Y'all could put out a warning. Or y'all could probably not give it to nobody. Except for people that need it. There's just too much secrecy that which makes me believe that they are more traitors to the people of America than there are actually allies. And that's the government itself. They do more treason shit to their own people in America than enemies of America. And it's been going on ever since. Ever since. Ever since. Ever since they did that. Ever since the war was off and niggas is trying to build the country and they went over there to start some banking system. It's never been the same. And you're talking fucking 1800s, yo. That's 1900. That's 200, yeah, about 200 years now. This country has never been united. This country was only united for one thing, and that was the Revolutionary War. This country has never been united ever since because the government just refused to be for the people. If the government was for the people, even the gangsters of America would protect the government. You know what I mean? Like that's how lucky and them niggas felt when World War II was popping. They in their prime. Them niggas is in their prime. Like they what? They putting belt their asses to anybody. Scarface was outside. Do y'all niggas hear what I'm saying? Like Scarface is real. That nigga real. His name is um Alfonso something. Capone. Al Capone. Yeah, that cat. He was outside. A buggy. Lepke was outside. Lucky was outside. Hey, Gangsters was outside. Like what? We got beef with who? Oh, that nigga that run my country over there? They didn't like him, period. They ain't, I ain't Italian, so I don't know, but my gangsters from New York City did not like that nigga. Niggas say, we don't like y'all, but we hate him. That was gangster. And they ain't never show their appreciation. You know what I mean? Like, you would think the United States government would have a holiday or something for that day. Like, yo, and an appreciation to the gangsters of New York City, B. Like, I know y'all criminals, and I know y'all don't like law and all of that, but damn, y'all said y'all hate him more than y'all hate us, and you gotta give him flowers. That was some G shit to hold down the dots and shit, and the United States and the United Nations building. It almost got blown up. They actually made it. I heard they was looking at binoculars or something. There was a boat over there. They was gonna shoot it down. You know what I mean? They held it down though. You know, the gangsters in New York City, they held down New York. He was at war. Like they was really going to hit up New York. That's what, you know, I don't know if they teach you that in school, but yeah, it almost happened. It almost happened. There wasn't no gangsters, no real gangsters in New York City. They would have invaded New York. They would have, yeah, they would have knocked down the United Nations. It would have been a travesty. This would have hit different. If Lucky was never ever born, this shit would have hit different. So they was wrong on gangsters. Very wrong. You know? Go back to the black people, man, in New York. Go back to a female, Madam Sinclair, right? During the time of Dutch. So Dutch making millions off of liquor. This black woman is making millions off of a slip called the number game. She created millions. Madam Sinclair. Countless, countless people probably died, went to jail for playing numbers, only for go to any place that does lotto, ask them if they have numbers. It's a three-number thing. They, you know what I mean? How you gonna steal her shit? How the government steal her shit and then make it legal? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, for real, for real. How you steal her shit? Mad people probably died behind it being quote unquote, oh, that's wrong. She's wrong. She's the devil. Yo, there's no telling what the fuck they was saying about Miss St. Clair during that time, B, with this number shit. Only for you, you could take 50 cents. and go to any place that's and gamble at and it's legal because the government says now it's legal, y'all fucked up and y'all wrong for that. And y'all don't even commemorate her. She should be on like United States Postal Service stamps or some shit. It's like if she created Lotto. Do y'all hear me? You wanna like if you ever wanted to know, yo, how Lotto started? Yo, a black chick started Lotto. Word, why they don't say nothing? You know what I'm saying? It's like that. Hold on. It's the same shit. Nigga created so nigga created, you know, somebody created the Lotto. Know what I mean? She created numbers. Um, so they was wrong on that. A lot of, you know what? I really don't want to deal with the racism shit because there's a lot of shit they was wrong with just being fucking racist. So, well, I'ma just leave that shit alone. That's just being ignorant and stupid on their part. We ain't even doing that. But yeah, my main thing is like something that they initiated and then they is deemed wrong because we making a living off of it. Ain't that the purpose though? Ain't that the purpose? I ain't gonna lie to you. Just off of what the gangsters of New York City did for y'all and did for this country, how dare y'all? How dare you and the government, the other states? How dare y'all even talk or even have an opinion on what gangsters in New York City when we protected this whole entire country when the government couldn't? The protection because of morals and laws that real men from New York City live by. So then when the time came to be tested, like, yo, this is the test right here, they stood in unity and they made sure they protected New York City. They protected New York City. New York City had black people in there, right? New York City had Chinese people in there, right? I know y'all want to call, people want to call people racist all the fucking time. People want to call people racist all the fucking time. And it's not the fact it's not that people are racist. Maybe there are situations where people are racist. They do racist acts. But does that make them a racist person? Like so with this invasion of I don't know who was coming. It could have been the the fascist Italy, it could have been Germans, the Nazis, it could have been either one, or Japanese, yeah, Japan, right? They stood they stood in unity, and because if they was racist, right, I wanna think about this. If they was racist, right? Lucky, Al Capone, and all of them, right? And now y'all being tested as gangsters. They're about to invade New York City. Who? Italy. And it's like, so, but yeah, who gives a fuck about the mullahs or them Chinese or whatever, you know? Like I think it would have been more because people that are racist, they're very selfish. You know what I'm saying? They're very selfish. So I don't think it would have been a like, yo, we gotta protect New York City shit. I think it would have been a more of, oh, y'all invading New York City. All right, so our community is gonna go on a vacation. Kind of similar to what the Jews did in 9/11. Now that's racist. That's racist. That's a fucking racist. Yes. Remember 9/11? All those Jews took a day off, knowing that we was going to be invaded, knowing that we was going to be attacked. I don't know what Lucky and them niggas did. Whatever they did, they made sure ain't nothing happened to us. Not a single soul. They was going to blow up that United Nations building. Believe that. And y'all new niggas, y'all Jews, y'all just let planes hit towers, hit the Pentagon, while y'all take a day off. I hope the other, I hope other races listen to what I'm saying, because you really gotta respect Lucky and them. They got the drop. They got the drop. Yo, these niggas is coming to the city. Well, not my city. That's how them niggas felt. They felt so fucking American, nigga. That's the first thing that came out that nigga mouth, B. What? Not my fucking city. I just knocked off two dons about 2 decades ago. Huh? Huh? This nigga ain't no regular nigga. Nigga done got two dons from Italy knocked the fuck off. Oh, y'all coming back? Y'all want to play? Oh, y'all want to play? Nah, this is how we gonna give it up. Shit got nothing to do. Like, listen, that shit. That's how they felt. That's how them gangsters felt. This New York. This America. They protected the entire city. Whether blacks was there, Chinese was there, they didn't take the day off like them fucking Jews in 9/11 and just let everybody die. They didn't do that. They got the drop and they protected us. And fucking Jews in 9/11, they got the drop and they took the day off and let everybody die. They let everybody die. Disgusting. Disgusting, those people. They're just disgusting. Everybody involved that took the day off. Disgusting. Well, hey, that's our government. That's our government. So that's my thing. I look at the traditions of gangsters and what a gangster is, what it means to be a gangster, and how it started here from the original gangsters. And I just don't see, based on tradition and based on the history of America, that the United States government has always been right. They're actually their percentage of being right is a failed percentage. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a failed percentage. It's a very, very, very failed percentage. More wrong than right. And I just have to ask people, especially people that ain't never really did shit, you know, just followed rules all their fucking lives, right? I have to ask you guys this question. The rule followers, the protocol followers, and all of that, right? You follow protocol, right? You're a follower, right? What do you think? Everything that was taught to you now, do you think that they're right after what I said? Could have been anything. Could have been drug selling, numbers, loan sharking, everything that's American, that American people created just to survive, like, for the most part. I got the Department of Labor, I got a SLES, all right. I'll holler at y'all later. No, we got one more school. One more school. Yeah, it's fucking Department of Labor. Heck. Yeah, but like I said, to just summarize this whole shit up, yeah, I don't truly believe based on the facts and based on the research, I'm sorry, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But if you need more information or validation of what I had just said, look it up. What the fuck, man? Be feeling like doing everything for everybody, B. Y'all niggas gotta have brains and y'all gotta start using them fucking brains, B. Stop just not using your fucking brain, not doing the research, and then just running your fucking mouth with a fucking opinion when you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Niggas don't do no research, but they got a fucking opinion. The game is the game. The game is to be sold, not told. That's from the government all the way down to the gangsters. It's just the beef in between the two that I don't really respect. I don't get it. I don't get why the government is so much on our ass when this is the game that they fucking created for us to play in. Not for foreigners to get involved, not for this niggas and that niggas to get involved. Them niggas gotta take more control of the fucking game and stop blaming the fucking players. That's what the fuck they gotta stop doing. And for those that don't even get in the game, that was never even like, nigga, you don't have a fucking opinion. Cause you don't know how to take the good with the bad of this shit. I know you shoot a I know you tough. You about that action. Action. I'm about that action. I put about the ass. I'm about that action. Nigga, you're getting 50 years. Nigga, I'm telling. The fuck out of here, man. Y'all niggas, man. You can't jump out the porch at 18. Don't even be a criminal. This shit gotta be in your fucking blood. Damn near in your fucking. This shit just gotta be around you, nigga. It has to be around you. Real gangsters have to be around you for you to learn. How the fuck you gonna learn how to be a real tough nigga if you never been around tough niggas? How you gonna learn to have power if you never seen power? You've been nurtured by your mother and father all your life. You're a good kid. The opinions of the game you should not have because the game is kind of like life. It really ain't no right or wrong. The game is the game. Because you know why? Nobody put a fucking gun in your head to make you do that. You got other options. You understand? We always hear that. Yes, that's true. When did this start? This game? that the government initiated for us to play? Why y'all beefing with each other? Fucking 70 fucking 5 year, 75 years of playing the government. And y'all beefing with each other about this shit? About what? Whether it's supposed to happen or not? Whether niggas supposed to be out here getting money or not? That's what we beefing about? Who's bringing it in? When did it start? It's 75 years. You fucking think they don't know? They the ones. Yo, bro, man. The game is the game, man. When you understand it, you don't chastise. See people in it, you just pray for their safety. You know what comes with it. You know what comes with it. But you know why they in it. Nigga came, nigga jumped out the porch at 11 years old. Nigga was outside since 9, 10 years old. You got a brother, sister, mother, father. Now you want to come outside at 16, 15. Got a couple dollars on you. You looking flying shit, but you want to have your nose flared up at this nigga. He ain't never had shit. Nigga been outside in the streets all his life. He don't know nothing else. Nigga been in foster homes, group homes, around people that don't love him, don't trust him. His only real friend is probably a fucking pit. Here come your family ass. You're come from a good family ass. Got all these fucking family members and all this good family shit. And then got the nerve to talk about a kid, a nigga that's now 40 or don't give a fuck how old he is. The nigga jumped out the porch at like 8 because he had to. The nigga was hungry. Crackhead moms, crackhead pops, whatever the fuck you want to call it, nigga. That nigga outside in the 80s. Just trying to make it. I'm just trying to fucking live. What you gonna tell that nigga? With your nurtured ass. Huh? You know he a gangster, right? That nigga ain't 9 years old no more. He ain't asking no more. That nigga he ain't scrapping and scraping. Nah, he ain't doing that, nigga. Niggas ain't out here shining shoes, pimp. You know, the most humble people, the most respected people that I've ever met in my life was murderers. They smile, they laugh with you. To a certain degree, they genuinely care. You know, it's crazy because I was young. You know what I'm saying? So, but my attraction to power was because of the older niggas that was around me. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I never hung around nobody my age. I always hung around older niggas. Niggas turned out to be killers. The game is the game, B. Niggas put belt the asses to niggas. Some of them niggas, niggas probably want to murder them niggas. But mad niggas fear them niggas. I just sat there and I listened. I listened to their stories. They told me a lot where they fucked up at. Don't do that. There was a lot of don't do that moment. Yo, that's the only time niggas might get loud, yo, in the conversation. Them don't do that moments. Young blood. Look, King. Let me tell you something. Don't do that. All right. I was just telling my cousin about them Otisville trips, man. When I was in Pius, I had to go to Otisville. Niggas was doing 50 fucking years to life. Yo, I got 50 to life. I got 30 to life. I got life. Hey, shit. Mid Orange too. So Otisville right there, Mid Orange right there. We did both. I went to. I had to do both of them joints. And just listening to these older niggas, man. I was like 15 years old. I'm in a juvie joint doing time too. So it's like, but they like when juvie meets big boy, like, but it's crazy because that's federal. I didn't know that was federal. I thought that was state, Otisville. And the stories was crazy. I might be 15, but goddamn, I know dumb shit. I might be 15, but I know dumb shit when I hear it. And I tell you, boy, shit ain't even fucking funny, man. But I hope them niggas in Otisville, man. I hope they happy, man. I hope they proud of me, B, because I listened, yo. Dead ass. Dead fucking serious, B. The shit that they was saying while they was in there, they couldn't even believe it. Like, yo, I'm smarter than that. And I'm way tougher. I get caught up in this dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? These are some tough niggas. And the stories that got them there with all that. Like, damn, dude. So it's like, yo, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said that. There was a lot of times there were those don't do those moments. So looking at that, if those older niggas, they know what we into because we doing time too. We just in the juvie joint. But that shit that you saw on TV, that scared straight shit, I think I saw that on like 2 trips. I think 2 trips while I was locked up. Because we used to go there a lot. I think it was one time in Otisville in the daytime. And it was a nighttime one at Mid Orange. Because it was night. I remember it was night. They was gonna beat this kid up. I remember that shit. That one I remember vividly. Because he got up and got the you know what I mean? They actually had to pull the nigga out of the program. That shit was crazy. My man Face Face had to go back and talk to the nigga. That was one of the niggas that was doing 50. He had to go back and talk to the nigga. And I'm like, the fuck? Fuck you do that dumb shit for, OG? Word, I'm looking at them niggas like, yo, what the fuck you do that shit for, niggas? MOB, nigga, money over bitches, nigga. What the fuck you over a bitch, nigga? And this is just in my head, but pause. He's saying that shit to all of us, and then it's that don't do that moment. Like, yo, my nigga, like, don't end up in here like that over no fucking broad, dude. And let me tell y'all little niggas something else too, man. We them niggas. I'll never forget that. I'm gonna end that with this. The nigga said, this is like 9-6. I was 15. Niggas said we them niggas. 9-7 probably. They're 9-7, not bad. 9-7. Yeah, I was 16. 9-7. Nigga said, we them niggas. Nigga said, all that shit y'all see on TV, shit is fake. Niggas ain't doing all that shit. We the ones doing that shit. Why you think we here? So don't get caught up in all that music, trying to be tough and all this extra shit. And that, and that's what I'm saying. You're not going to get that from these fucking bozos out here running their fucking mouth. You're just not going to get that from none of these niggas, man. You know, a real killer, a real drug dealer, a real nigga, all nigga. Not just a nigga on a Saturday, because Monday through Friday, he got them white people watching him. No, all nigga. Not a mixed breed nigga, not a sometimes nigga, no, all nigga. They, like I said, they just understand, and I never got that from neither penitentiaries and none of the inmates. Even, I'm pretty sure I had one on, we probably talked, but it was never to talk down on a young nigga. Sometimes on the island having talks with the older niggas. They never talked down on me. Even when I told them my story. I guess some of them probably related, having a fucked up home. You're like, word, you know what I mean? Is that time that's important when you're young, if you're actually going through fucked up situations, that you try to have somebody who's a gangster that, can listen, they can hear you out. I never told my OGs though, you know what I mean? But now that I'm adult, you kind of ask yourself, like, were they watching? Did it ever cross, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he's 12 years old. When the fuck is he going home? Why is he out here? Where's his father? You know what I'm saying? Like me, first of all, I wouldn't have, you know what I mean? But I don't know. The fuck I looked at dumb old at that time. I don't get it. I don't get it. I just know I was really with the shit, so but still in all, me now as an adult, I would never, not no little nigga. I would never. I would never. Nothing under 18, 19, 20. Like, I'll give you a couple dollars before I give you drugs. I would never. But it's just the seed thing. Like, he planted that to make me think, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta have some type of morals or rules because he ain't reach out to me. I reached out. I was out in the streets, out and about. I didn't have no guidance. You know what I'm saying? I guess the best thing that they could do is just make sure that nothing happens to me. You know what I mean? Like, this little nigga gonna come out here and get it regardless. And I wasn't even, he wasn't even my first introduction, my OG. So can't blame him. I'm already out here in the fucking field, right? He understood. He never chastised. He never, your little ass should be, you know what I'm saying? Like, little do you know I'm smarter than everybody in the fucking school. But the school is not teaching me nothing. That shit should have been teaching me coding. I should have been learning coding. While I was in Albert Einstein, I should have been learning coding. My fucking, you know what's crazy about that whole situation? We're in Albert Einstein. That's the name of the school. It's the 131. You got kids from Castle Hill Projects. You got kids from fucking on my block going over there. If anything, well, it was just me. You got Monroe and Soundview Projects. My homeroom teacher and whoever had him as a fucking teacher, just I know they learned a lot. But the nigga was a genius, right? Mr. Craig. He was a mathematician for real, for real. You like there's niggas that know numbers, nigga, like Fuck you talking about? Nigga, you would think he's fucking AI. AI ain't smarter than him. Maybe. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Nah. Mr. Craig dope. Mr. Craig dope. Mr. Craig dope. And he used to fucking challenge us. We junior high school, right? We tough little niggas now. Come on now. That chicks too. Dumb smart. The chicks, dumb smart. Straight A's, hundreds. Fuck out of here, nigga. Smack shit. Chicks was dumb smart during my era. 9-4. Yo, I go in my homeroom, baby, about to go home. Yo, Mr. Craig always messing with us. Like, yeah, just throw anything up on the board. Y'all can't mess with me. Like, what? Yo, you not the smartest person in the world, Mr. Craig. Cut it out. Yo, throwing up just mad different shit, B. Anything we could think of, yo. There was never a day we won. We never fucked him up. We never tripped him up. I've never seen the human being as intelligent in numbers as my seventh grade junior high school teacher, Mr. Craig from 131. He was just different and he challenged us like, nigga, can't nobody fuck with me. Yo, but that you see, but that's fucking white boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you a man, B. You better like and that's what you need in your fucking life. You know what I'm saying? You need men like that in your life to show you, nigga, you can do some great things, nigga. You're a fucking man. You know what I'm saying? Just don't give up on yourself type shit. You know? The one, and like, I could have learned a lot from him if he was one of my teachers. Unfortunately, he was just my homeroom teacher. I never had a class with him. I never had a class with Mr. Craig. So, other than that, the only thing that really captured my mind was fucking with him when it was time to when it was time to go home and throwing up them confusing ass problems to see if he could solve them and music. That was it. Everything else, it just didn't. I don't even remember it. I do not remember it. I do not remember the teachers. I don't remember my music teacher neither. I remember the dean because he kept me in detention every damn fucking day. Okay, a second. Well, but yeah, the game is the game. It's always going to be the game. It's always going to be the same until our government takes full responsibility and holds themselves accountable for initiating the game. And they might have to do some apology. Yeah, they might have to do some apologizing. Because when you look at it, how many people like us, you know what I'm saying, like regular gangsters or whatever, can you think of has publicly apologized for being a part of the game? Just think about it, right? Like I said before, when the fuck is our government going to take responsibility for the acts of fucking treason and atrocities they have put against their own fucking people? I don't give a fuck if it was FDR and it wasn't you. Just say the shit so we can move the fuck on. We don't trust you because you niggas lie about every little fuck. Y'all niggas been lying since fucking Civil War, since Abraham Lincoln. The people have not trusted y'all since fucking Abraham fucking Lincoln. That shit is fucking disgusting, dude. That shit is just fucking disgusting. And trust you ask anybody that was related to any of the gangsters in New York that protected the city, it wasn't for y'all punk asses. You could bet that shit. They ain't do it for y'all. They ain't like y'all motherfuckers. But they hated that nigga. So they had to do it for the people. And if they was racist, they would have did the shit y'all niggas just did in 9/11. They're gonna attack us. Let's just take the day off. You fucking pussies.